The wine glass shattered against the marble floor. Every conversation in Seoul's most exclusive restaurant stopped. Park Tae-jun stood over the trembling server, his voice cutting through the silver lotus like a blade. You call this service? My grandmother moves faster than you, and she's been dead for 10 years. The young man fled in tears. Diners pretended they hadn't seen anything, because everyone knew Park Tae-jun, real estate titan, Seoul's cruelest billionaire, the man who could destroy your life with a phone call. And tonight, Haley Okonkwo was about to walk straight into his crosshairs. She watched from across the dining room, her dark eyes steady, her jaw set. 3 months working at this restaurant had taught her one thing. Everyone feared Park Tae-jun. Everyone bowed, everyone cowered, everyone let him win. Not tonight. Tonight she was going to serve him his dinner, and she was going to do it without flinching. What she didn't know, what she couldn't possibly know, was that the moment Tae-jun saw her face, his entire world would stop. Because he knew exactly who she was. He'd been carrying the guilt of her father's death for 5 years. And now the daughter of the man he'd destroyed was standing in front of him, completely unaware of the secret that bound them together. This was going to be a disaster. But first, it was going to be something else, entirely. Before we continue the story, I need you to help me build something special. This story is about to take you on a wild ride, and I'm creating a community of people who love these stories as much as I do. Welcome to Afro Soul Stories TV Besties. This is our 12th video. Kindly show your encouragement by hitting the like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you to those who already subscribed before now. You inspired me to keep creating more videos like this. Now let's get back to the story. Manager Kim burst into the kitchen, his face pale with panic. The staff scattered like frightened birds. "Table 7, he said, his voice shaking. "Who's serving him tonight?" Silence, the dangerous kind. Senior server Jiwoo shook her head violently. "Not me. He made me cry last month." "My cousin served him once," Minho said. "Got blacklisted from every restaurant in Gangnam." Haley watched them all retreat into fear, and something inside her snapped. She was tired of being invisible, tired of watching bullies win. "I'll do it," she said, her Nigerian accent strong and clear. Every head whipped toward her. Jiwoo grabbed her arm. "Haley, no, you don't understand what he's like." "I understand perfectly," Haley interrupted. "He's just a man, a rude man, but still just a man." "He's Park Tae-jun," Kim said desperately. "He owns half of Seoul. He can destroy careers." "Then let him try," Haley said firmly. "I'll serve him." She took the menu and walked out before anyone could stop her. Her heart hammered, but her steps were steady. Because her father had taught her something before he died. Dignity isn't negotiable. Not for money. Not for fear. Not for anyone. The dining room was all marble and crystal, soft lighting and hushed conversations. And at table 7, by the window overlooking the Han River, sat the king of this golden kingdom. Park Tae-jun. Mid-30s, expensive suit, dark hair styled perfectly. Everything about him screamed power and danger. His jaw was set in permanent displeasure, his eyes cold as he scrolled through his phone. Haley approached. He didn't look up. She waited. 10 seconds, 20, 30, 45. "Excuse me, sir. I didn't give you permission to speak," he said, not looking up. Haley's jaw tightened, but she kept her voice professional. "Good evening, Mr. Park. I'm Haley, your server tonight. May I—" "You may stand there silently until I acknowledge you," he interrupted. Another minute passed. The humiliation tactic was obvious. Make her wait. Make her feel small. Establish dominance. Haley didn't move, didn't fidget, just stood with perfect posture, waiting. Finally, Tae-jun looked up and froze. His expression didn't change much, but something flickered behind his eyes. Shock, recognition, pain. He stared at her face for 3 full seconds, his phone forgotten. "You're new," he said, his voice different now, almost careful. "I've been here 3 months, sir. I haven't seen you. I usually work different sections. Would you like the wine list? What's your name?" The question came out sharper than he seemed to intend. "I just told you. Haley." "Your full name?" This was getting strange. "Haley Okonkwo, sir." The colour drained from his face. His hand tightened around his phone until the case creaked. His jaw clenched. For a moment, his eyes closed like he was in pain. When he opened them, his expression had shifted, transformed into something cold and cruel. "Okonkwo. What kind of name is that?" "Nigerian, sir." "I can barely understand your accent. How did you get hired here?" The racism was blatant, designed to wound. Haley felt anger flash through her, but kept her voice steady. "My English is perfectly clear, sir. Would you like to order?" "Don't get defensive. It makes you look weak." He picked up the wine list. "Do you know anything about wine, or are you just here to look exotic?" Haley wanted to pour wine over his head, but she needed this job. "I know the 2015 Chateau Margaux would complement our braised short rib beautifully. Or if you prefer Korean wine, our Majuang Reserve is exceptional." Tai Jun looked up, something flickering in his expression. "Who taught you about wine?" "My father, sir. He believed wine was about appreciation, not prejudice." Something cracked in Taejun's expression. Pain. Real pain. But it vanished quickly. "Your father had good taste. Bring me the Margot. Don't make me wait." Haley walked away, feeling his eyes on her back. In the kitchen, Jiwoo pulled her aside. "How bad was it?" "He's exactly as terrible as you said." But something nagged at her. The way he'd stared when she said her name, like he was looking for something, or hiding something. Throughout dinner, Tai-jun criticized everything. The wine was too warm, the bread wasn't fresh enough, the presentation was sloppy, nothing was good enough. But he never sent anything back. And between complaints, she caught him watching her with something that wasn't quite anger, something that looked almost like fascination. "Where are you from in Nigeria?" he asked suddenly. "Lagos, sir." "Why did you come to Seoul?" "For work. Opportunity. A fresh start." "Your family?" "Just me now, sir." Something crossed his face, guilt, sadness, but it was gone immediately. That must be difficult, being alone in a foreign country. The almost kindness caught her off guard. "I manage, sir." "I'm sure you do. You're stronger than most people I know." "Sir?" "Nothing." The coldness returned. "Bring me the dessert menu." The shift back to cruelty was jarring. By the end of the meal, Haley was exhausted from the emotional whiplash. Taejun left a tip that was triple the normal amount. He stood to leave, then paused beside her. "You'll serve me again. Thursday. Same table." Not a request. A command. Before Haley could respond, he walked out. That night, Haley couldn't stop thinking about his face when she'd said her name, the way his cruelty seemed forced, the moments of almost gentleness. Something was wrong, but she was too tired to figure out what. Thursday arrived with the weight of inevitability. Manager Kim pulled her aside. "Mr. Park specifically requested you. That's unusual." At exactly 7 p.m., Taejun walked in. He looked tense, almost nervous. He went to table 7 and waited. "Good evening, Mr. Park," Haley said. "Good evening, Haley." He said her name carefully, then frowned. "Sit down." "I'm working, sir." "I said sit." Against her better judgment, Haley sat. The entire restaurant was watching. "Why do you work here?" he asked. "Because I need money. Same reason everyone works." "Don't be flippant, I'm asking seriously. Why Seoul? Why this restaurant? Why do you care?" "I'm curious about my servers." "You mean you want someone to bully?" Haley shot back before she could stop herself. Taejun's jaw clenched. "Careful! I can have you fired." "Then do it, but stop pretending you care." She stood to leave, but his next words stopped her. "You're right." Haley turned back, shocked. "You're absolutely right," Taejun said, staring at his hands. "I am a bully. I'm cruel and I take out my frustrations on people who don't deserve it. But you're different. You don't break. Why? Because I've survived worse than you, Haley said quietly. What does scare you? The question was so soft, so genuinely curious. Being invisible, being dismissed. That terrifies me. Taejun stared at her like she'd revealed something profound. I've spent years making myself terrifying, but you're showing me it's not the same as being powerful. Why are you telling me this? Because I want to know you, really know you. Why? Because when I look at you, I see something I thought I'd lost. Hope. The confession hung between them. Haley should walk away, but something in his eyes kept her there. Have dinner with me, he said. Not here, somewhere else. Let me apologize properly. I don't think... Please, the word sounded foreign in his mouth. One dinner. If you hate it, I'll never bother you again. Against all logic, Haley heard herself say, one dinner. Their first real dinner was at a quiet restaurant in Itaewon. Taejun was completely different, polite, attentive, genuine. He asked about her life, really listened. I want to apologize for Tuesday, he said. The comments about your accent, your background, there's no excuse. Why be cruel to someone you've never met? Because it's easier than being vulnerable. Easier than admitting I'm lonely. He met her eyes. I've built walls so high I forgot what it's like to let someone in. Despite herself, Haley felt sympathy. Why tell me? Because you're the first person in years who looks at me without fear. And honestly, that's refreshing. Haley laughed. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. I know, he said, smiling. It transformed his face completely. They talked for hours, about Lagos, about dreams, about life. And slowly Haley saw someone different, someone funny and thoughtful and achingly lonely. Tell me about your father, Taejun said carefully. He was a structural engineer. Brilliant. He worked internationally, Dubai, Seoul, Singapore. Taejun went very still. Seoul? He loved it here. Said it was one of the best times in his career. Then something happened, some work scandal. He came back to Lagos different, depressed. And 2 years later She couldn't finish. Taejun looked like he was being torn apart. He sounds incredible. I'm sure he'd be so proud of you. I hope so. They continued talking, and Haley found herself falling. Falling for this complicated, damaged man who was nothing like the monster she'd first met. Over the next 2 months, Taejun courted her properly. Dinners, walks along the Han River, quiet evenings talking about everything. At the restaurant, he was demanding but never cruel when she served him. Haley was falling hard. He made her laugh, challenged her thinking, supported her dreams. With him, she felt seen, valued, cherished. One evening by the river, Taejun stopped and turned to her. I need to tell you something, he said seriously. Okay. I'm falling in love with you. The words rushed out. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy. But I can't stop it. When I'm with you, I remember what it's like to feel something. Haley's breath caught. I'm falling too, and it terrifies me. Why? Because you could hurt me. Because this feels too good to be real. Taejun cupped her face gently. I would never hurt you intentionally. You're the best thing that's happened to me. Then promise me something. Promise me honesty. No secrets, no lies. Taejun's expression flickered. Guilt, fear. But he nodded. I promise. He kissed her then, soft and desperate. And Haley kissed him back, her defenses crumbling completely. What she didn't see was the pain in his eyes, the way his hands shook, because he knew he'd just lied, and that when she found out, it would destroy everything. The next weeks were blissful. Haley had never been happier. Taejun was different in private, softer, more open. He told her about his lonely childhood, about building his business to prove his worth. But you're changing that, he said one evening. You're making me want to be better. At the restaurant, the staff noticed the change. Taejun had stopped terrorizing servers completely. He'd even apologized to Minho. Love changes people, Jiwoo said, smiling at Haley. But manager Kim pulled her aside with concern. Haley, do you really know Park Tae-jun? His business, his past? I know enough. Have you Googled him? Looked into his history? Why would I? I trust him. Kim looked like he wanted to say more but just shook his head. Be careful. Rich men have secrets. Haley laughed it off. But that night, Manager Kim's words nagged at her. She pulled out her phone and typed Park Tae-jun into the search bar. The first results were standard business news. But then she saw an article from 5 years ago. Park Construction's CEO fires engineer in corporate espionage case. Her hands started shaking. She clicked the link. Park Construction's CEO Park Tae-jun announced the immediate termination of senior structural engineer Daniel Okonkwo, following allegations of corporate espionage. We have zero tolerance for betrayal, Park stated. Mr. Okonkwo will never work in this industry again. The phone slipped from her hands. This couldn't be real. Different Park Tae-jun, different company, different Daniel Okonkwo. But she knew. Deep in her bones, she knew. With shaking hands, she kept reading. Article after article destroying her father's name. And at the center, Park Tae-jun's cold, condemning face. She found the follow-up article, 3 weeks after her father's death. Park Construction has cleared the name of Daniel Okonkwo, who died by suicide 3 weeks ago after being falsely accused of corporate espionage. Park Tae-jun issued a statement. This is a tragedy. Mr. Okonkwo was innocent, and we failed him. Too late. 3 weeks too late. And Park Tae-jun, the man she'd been falling in love with, had been the one to destroy him. He'd known. From the moment she'd said her name, he'd known. And he'd said nothing. He'd pursued her, made her fall in love, all while hiding the most devastating secret of her life. Haley's vision blurred with rage and betrayal. Was any of it real? Or was this all guilt? Some sick way to ease his conscience. She grabbed her phone and called him at 2 a.m. He answered immediately, concerned. Haley? What's wrong? Park Construction, she said, her voice shaking. Silence. Complete damning silence. Haley, Park Construction, your company, the one my father worked for. She heard him inhale sharply. Haley, please. You knew, her voice broke, from the beginning. You knew exactly who I was, and you said nothing. I can explain. Explain what? That you destroyed my father, that you fired him, humiliated him, drove him to kill himself, and then you saw me and thought what? Here's my chance to feel better. No, it's not like that. Then what is it like? Because I'm trying to understand how the man who says he loves me could lie for months, could kiss me while hiding that you're the reason my father is dead. Drop a comment right now and subscribe. Tell me what you'd do in Haley's position. I didn't know how to tell you. Tae-jun's voice was ragged. How do you tell someone that? You start with the truth. You don't seduce them. I wasn't trying to seduce you. I was trying to protect you from more pain. Protect me. You were protecting yourself, easing your guilt. I fell in love with you, Tae-jun shouted. Your father was innocent. I destroyed him because I was too arrogant to question the evidence. When I saw you, I knew I'd been given one chance to make something right, not to fix what I did, but to protect you, to give you the life he would have wanted. By lying to me? By loving you. I fell in love with you, Haley. Not because of who your father was, because you're brave and strong and you looked at me like I was human. I love you. And yes, I'm guilty. But my love isn't about that. It's about you. How do I believe that? How do I know this isn't guilt pretending to be love? Because I was falling before I understood what was happening. Because I'm terrified you'll leave me. Because when I look at you, I don't see Daniel Okonkwo's daughter. I see Haley, the woman I want to spend my life with. Haley wanted to believe him, but the betrayal was too fresh. I need time. I need to think. Take all the time you need, Tae-jun said, his voice hoarse. But please know I love you, whatever else is true, that is. Haley hung up and cried until she had nothing left. The next morning she quit the Silver Lotus. She couldn't face him, couldn't risk seeing him. For 2 weeks, Haley existed in fog. Tae-jun called constantly. She blocked his number. He sent letters. She burned them. He sent flowers. She threw them away. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw his face, heard his laugh, remembered how he'd held her. Had any of it been real? Jiwoo visited with news. He's falling apart, comes to the restaurant every night, just sits and waits. Doesn't eat. The staff is worried. I don't care, Haley said, but her voice lacked conviction. He loves you. That's not fake. How do you know? Because I've watched him. The way he looks at you like you're his whole world. That's not guilt. That's love. After Jiwoo left, Haley sat with her father's photo. What would you do, Bubba? Her father's face smiled back, offering no answers. But she remembered his words. People make mistakes. What defines us is what we do after. That night, she turned her phone back on. Hundreds of messages from Tae-jun, all increasingly desperate. I'm sorry, I failed you. Please talk to me. I love you. That was never a lie. I set up the Daniel Okonkwo Memorial Engineering Center. It opens next month. The last message was from yesterday. I'll be at Han River Park tomorrow at sunset, the bench where I first kissed you. I'll wait. If you don't come, I'll understand. But loving you was the first real thing I've done in years. Haley looked at the clock. If she left now, she'd make it. She had to know, had to see the truth for herself. The sun was setting when Haley arrived at the park, and there, on their bench, sat Park Tae-jun. He looked terrible. Wrinkled suit, disheveled hair, weight loss, exhaustion. When he saw her, his body went rigid with hope and fear. He stood slowly like she might disappear. You came, he breathed. I came. I didn't think. Shut up, Haley said softly. Just listen. He nodded, silent. What you did to my father was unforgivable. You destroyed a good man, and that will always be between us. I know. You lied to me, made me fall in love while hiding this terrible secret. Tae-jun's eyes filled with tears. But, Haley continued, her voice shaking, my father taught me that people make mistakes. What defines us is what we do after, how we try to make amends. Haley, and you're trying. This building, the foundation, you're trying to honor him. And maybe that matters. It's all I have, trying to be worthy of you. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I'll ever forget you're the reason he's dead. But I also know I still love you, despite everything. You love me. His voice was barely audible. Yes, and I hate that I do. But my father believed in second chances, so I'm going to try. What does that mean? We start over. Honestly, no secrets. You tell me everything. I will. Every mistake, every regret. No more secrets. And you keep honoring my father. Keep proving this isn't just guilt. I will. Every day. Then maybe we have a chance. Tae-jun pulled her into his arms, holding her like oxygen. I love you. I'll spend every day proving I'm worthy. You'll probably never be worthy, Haley said, almost teasing. But I'll let you try. He kissed her, desperate and hopeful and real. And Haley kissed him back, testing if they could rebuild from ruins. When they pulled apart, she looked around. Tell me about the engineering center. So he did. About the state-of-the-art equipment, the scholarships, the faculty positions, everything her father would have loved. I need you to understand something, Tae-jun said, pulling out a worn envelope. I kept this. Inside was a letter in her father's handwriting. Mr. Park, I'm writing to ask you to reconsider. I've worked for you with loyalty. I have a daughter, Haley. She's my whole world. If I lose this job, I lose everything. Please investigate further. I'm begging you. Not for me. For her. Daniel Okonkwo. Haley's hands shook. Where did you get this? He gave it to me 3 days before I fired him. I didn't read it. I was too angry. I found it 2 weeks after his death. Too late for everything. So you kept it. As punishment, as reminder. I read it every night for a year. Haley clutched the letter, sobbing. He begged you. I know. And I failed him. But when I saw you, I knew I'd been given one chance to honor his memory by protecting you. I don't know if I believe you. Then let me prove it. Taejun dropped to his knees. I'll spend my life making amends. Just please don't walk away thinking what we had was fake. It was the most real thing in my life. Haley looked at him. Powerful man broken at her feet. The man who'd destroyed her father. The man she loved. I need more time. I can't promise I'll come back. I'll wait, forever if needed. Haley took the letter and walked away. She didn't look back. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of reading her father's letter, crying, trying to understand her heart. Jiwoo kept visiting with updates about Taejun falling apart. On the 22nd day, an invitation arrived. The Daniel Okonkwo Memorial Engineering Center opening next month. And a note. I'm not asking you to forgive me. Just asking you to see what I'm trying to do, to honor your father. You don't have to come, but I needed you to know. Taejun. Haley stared at it for hours, then called Jiwoo. Do you think he loves me? Really? I think what you had was real. Complicated, but real. How do I move forward? I don't know. But your father believed in second chances, and you'll regret it if you don't try. Haley pulled out her father's photo. What would you want, Baba? Would you want me to hate forever? Or find happiness? Her father's smile seemed to say, choose love. The opening ceremony was on a Saturday. Haley stood outside staring at her father's name in massive letters. Inside was everything he would have loved. And somewhere inside was Taejun. She took a breath and walked in. The lobby was packed. Taejun stood at center, giving a speech. Daniel Okonkwo was one of the finest engineers I ever worked with, he was saying. I failed him. I destroyed a good man because I was too proud to question myself. This center honors his legacy. It won't bring him back, but perhaps it will help others achieve the dreams he never got to realize. He paused, eyes scanning the crowd. And to his daughter, to Haley, who taught me that love and redemption are possible, who showed me courage, who loved me despite my failures. This is for both of you. The crowd applauded. Taejun stepped down and saw her. He froze, face cycling through emotions. He started toward her, then stopped. Haley walked to him, closing the distance. You came, he breathed. I came. I didn't think... Shut up and listen, she said firmly. He nodded. What you did was unforgivable, and that will always be between us. I know. You lied. You hid who you were. That hurt. His eyes filled with tears. But you're trying. This building, the apology. You're trying to honor him. And maybe that matters. It's all I have. I don't know if I can fully forgive you, but I also know I love you. My father believed in second chances, so I'm going to try. What does that mean? We start over. Honestly. No secrets. I'll tell you everything. And you keep honoring my father. Keep proving this isn't just guilt. I will. Forever. Then maybe we have a chance. He pulled her close. I love you. I'll prove I'm worthy. You'll probably never be worthy, but I'll let you try. She kissed him, testing if this could be real. And he kissed her back like she was forgiveness itself. If this story moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories that will capture your heart. Comment and tell me what you thought. 6 months later, Haley stood in the engineering center as program director. She'd finished her degree and was now training young engineers, just like her father would have wanted. Taejun had changed, really changed, restructured his company to prioritize ethics, became someone her father might have respected. They weren't perfect. They fought sometimes. Haley had days where the past hurt. Taejun had days where guilt consumed him. But they chose each other, every day. Do you ever regret giving me a second chance? Taejun asked one evening. Sometimes, when I'm angry, I wonder if I was stupid. Your father would be proud of you. How do you know? Because I read his letter every day. He'd want you happy. You're not just flawed, Haley said. You're complicated, difficult, sometimes still an asshole. But you love me, but I love me anyway. She looked up at him. My father would have hated you at first, but eventually he'd see you trying. Someone worthy of a second chance. Am I? Worthy. Most days, some days you're just annoying. Taejun laughed, the real laugh she'd learned to love. They stood together, two people bound by tragedy but choosing hope. It wasn't a fairy tale, but it was real, honest, built on truth earned through pain. Haley thought about her father often. The grief never fully left. The anger never completely disappeared. But she'd learned something. You can honor the dead without being destroyed. You can acknowledge the past without being trapped. You can love someone who hurt you while protecting yourself. And sometimes, the bravest thing is choosing to try, to believe in second chances, to build something beautiful from ruins. I love you, Taejun said. I know. And that still terrifies me. Me too. But it's worth it, right? Haley looked out at Seoul below, city lights twinkling. She thought about her journey. Lagos to London to here. Loss to love. Anger to grace. Yes, she said. It's worth it. With Taejun's arms around her and her father's legacy surrounding them, Haley believed it. Not because everything was perfect, but because they were trying. Together. Honestly. With scars visible and hearts open. And sometimes, that's all love needs to survive. Thank you for watching to the end, besties. Subscribe for more stories that make you feel everything. Remember, we're all just trying our best. Sometimes that's enough. See you in the next story.